Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rea, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Akanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, Prime Minister unveils COP23 logo. Germany reaffirms support for climate change talks. And FEA plans major maintenance works during Easter weekend.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The COP23 logo has been unveiled. The logo was made public by Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama, who will lead the climate change negotiations in Bonn, Germany in November. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
This is the logo that will be used at the climate change negotiations in Bonn at the end of the year. A design that features the vulnerability to climate change of small island developing states like Fiji.
The island partially submerged and a huge wave bearing down on it. The wave, as you can see, is also in the form of a cyclone with the eye in the middle. So especially in light of our experience with Cyclone Winston last year that caused so much heartbreak, this is a very stark and effective message to take to the world.
German State Secretary of Environment Johann Flesbert, who was also present at the ceremony, says the design is self-explanatory.
It reflects exactly what it is all about, that the most vulnerable countries of the world and the small island states belong to them are affected heavily by climate change.
The logo has been welcomed by diplomats who say it has an optimistic tone that will set the platform for the November climate change talks.
We have to be optimistic because there are a lot of constraints, but we want to go forward. We want to go forward with the implementation of the Paris Agreement.
It perfectly presents the idea, the core ideas of climate change issues that confront the human beings.
The logo was designed by Rona Sekiguchi of Greenhouse Designs and was selected from 84 different entries sent from around the country. Eleanor Turangaibu, FBC News.
The German State Secretary of Environment is in the country to hold a series of meetings with the government regarding the COP23 meet in November. Fiji will co-host the COP23 meeting with Germany. Eleanor Turangaivu again with the story.
The German government is furthering its support for Fiji in the lead-up to the climate change negotiations in Germany.
The German government has said that it wants this to be a Fijian COP and has offered to pay for branding of the event. The Fijian performance and cultural items and artifacts that we will take to Bonn to infuse COP23 with a Bula spirit.
Speaking at the unveiling of the COP23 logo today, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says with the support from Germany and the UNCCF, Fiji will make the event an unqualified success.
To preserve the multilateral consensus contained in the Paris Agreement for decisive cuts in carbon emissions, and keep up the momentum for its implementation with a wave of climate action that every global citizen can join.
The German State Secretary for Environment says they will stand by small island developing states affected by climate change, and they believe the world has chosen the right presidentship for COP23.
Really delighted to cooperate with Fiji on the upcoming COP23, and we already can see now that Fiji will be a very strong leader for the world. We really appreciate your commitment.
Over 20,000 people will converge to Bonn, Germany for the climate change negotiations in November. The country is hosting delegations from around the world at a cost of $155 million. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Residents in Vitilevu intermittent power supply this weekend as maintenance works will be carried out at the Wailoa power station. Akusita Thale reports this is the second major work to be carried out since Easter last year, as it's time-consuming.
The Fiji Electricity Authority will shut down the Wailoa power station from 10 p.m. on Thursday until 4 a.m. on Tuesday. During this time, a main inlet valve will be replaced.
Last year we did the same, and it was a very successful exercise. During the entire long weekend, no customers were affected, and we were able to supply all our valued customers in the Central Division through the diesel gensets that we have in the Central Division over the 4 days.
Diesel power stations at Kinoya, Deumba, Rokombili and Korovo are expected to supply electricity from Matanipusi to Korovo. Supply for Western residents will be from Nandarivatu Power Station and diesel sets in Rakiraki, Vunda, Geleloa, Nandi and Singatoka.
In the event there is an unexpected outage or breakdown on one of our diesel generators, then there could be power supply affected for a little while, but we'll try our best to keep it to a minimum. We'll also be mindful of the Fiji Games, at what times.
There are 4 turbines at the Wailoa Power Station, and the first replacement was undertaken during Easter last year. Similar works will be carried out on the 3rd and the 4th turbines during Easter weekends in 2018 and 2019. The maintenance work is expected to cost around $3 million. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority says works on the Kasavu-Bailey Bridge in Tailevu will be completed ahead of schedule. Chief Executive John Hutchinson says the Bailey Bridge is single lane for buses, cars and trucks, accommodating all legal load limits with the speed restriction of 15 kilometers per hour. The road was closed after a large slip occurred at the Kasavu-Mbaulevu Road junction, which had taken a great portion of the road. Over $398,000 has been spent to install the Bailey Bridge. Still to come, fire destroys Lautoka home, and rape victim gives further evidence in court.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्डन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Badals. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवरबा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
A fire in Malolo, Nandi has damaged a 5-bedroom property and left 2 families homeless tonight. FBC understands the property owner is currently in New Zealand. Ellen Stolz reports.
Chandrawati was outside when she heard an explosion inside the house. Nothing is left. We've lost everything in the fire. I tried to go into the living room, but the heat was too intense and I almost burnt myself. The home has 2 joint flats, a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom, which was located towards the back of the home. Bystanders say the fire spread very quickly.
When I arrived at the scene, the house was it was all covered with flames. The fire truck was here. The firemen were trying to do their best to contain the fire, but they seem to be, very, very unsuccessful.
It's a little after midday and fire trucks are still arriving here to be able to control the blaze. Tenants say that the fire started earlier this morning when they saw flames coming out of a bedroom in the front of the house. I'm a sickly woman and was at the temple this morning. When I saw the fire, I asked my neighbors to try and save what they can. They managed to save my fridge and TV. It's too early to say what started the blaze as investigations continue. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
The 3 men accused of the rape and sexual assault of a 21-year-old student in Nasole 2 years ago allegedly tried to offer her money to hide the crime. This was revealed in the Suva High Court today by the victim while she was giving evidence in the case. Shireen Shivan reports.
The victim continued with her testimony in the Suva High Court on the 2nd day of the trial today. She told the court that the 3 accused tried to give her money so that she does not inform anyone about the incident. She also alleges the accused persons told her that if anyone asks her about the incident, then she should say that she took the step because she had family issues. Today, the State Council asked the victim to inform the court what happened after the incident. The victim says she only managed to get out of the house where she was allegedly raped by 3 men when there was a knock at the door. She says she ran out of the house to ask for help and collapsed on the road. Later, she found herself in the hospital. During the cross-examination, the defense counsel asked the victim whether the first accused tied her hands and legs before taking her to Nasole Nasinu, to which she replied no. She was questioned why she did not scream or ask for help. The victim replied she was scared. The 3 accused, Semi Benjamin, Vera Vakarini and Chope Vakaloloma, are facing 5 counts of rape and 3 counts of sexual assault charges. The matter will continue tomorrow. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
With 6,000 NCD-related deaths annually, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services is taking a broader approach in the fight against non-communicable diseases. Representatives from government ministries and corporate bodies are part of a workshop aimed at strengthening the workplace setting towards prevention of lifestyle diseases. Pranita Prakash reports.
The workshop aims to increase the knowledge of participants on risk factors associated with lifestyle-related diseases.
For the workers in any workplace to look after their health and well-being, if they are well and healthy, then the productivity at the workplace will be really good and up to par. So it's a performance, the performance of the workers in the workplace.
Fiji National Provident Fund OHS officer Akhilesh Kumar says they have implemented a wellness program at work which is showing results.
We are working towards the productivity of our organization. We have already run this program from last year and our sick leave and balance has gone down.
The aim of the workshop is to empower the heads of department as champions to advocate on the prevention of lifestyle diseases. Increase in NCDs places a significant demand on health services. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Turning to world news, an American airline is investigating an incident following public outcry over a man being violently dragged from his seat on a domestic flight. This has not gone down well, with many taking to social media to express their concern. Coming up later in sports with Jamie, para-table tennis players ready to face the best in the region. But before that, Rachel joins us with the latest from the business world.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. 44 new individuals joined South Pacific Stock Exchange. And in Growing Fiji, new developments aim to boost the economy of Lambasa. Stay with us.
I'm Rafnil from Nepal and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Girdler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasalai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from Lambasa. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In business tonight, 44 new individuals have invested into the South Pacific Stock Exchange for the first quarter of this year. Pranita Prakash caught up with the managing operator Pritesh Prasad and files this report.
The new investors account for 40% of total statistics for the first 3 months.
In terms of market capitalization over the month of January, February, March, it has seen a growth of close to 3.5% as well. And if you compare it on a 12-monthly basis, it has gone up by 8%.
Prasad says in bid to increase investors on the market, a number of initiatives are underway.
As part of our ongoing investor education programs, the SPSC will be conducting a introduction to stock market seminar. So this is open to the general public. It will be on Saturday, 29th April at the Tanwa International Hotel in Nandi.
As for the overall activity, Amalgamated Telecom Holdings, Freebird Institute Limited and Vision Investment Limited are looking promising for the first quarter. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A number of major changes are expected on the global economic scene in the next few days. With more on that, here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank.
Vinaka Rachel.
Rising tensions in the Middle East and political uncertainty in Europe have kept investors on edge, underpinning safe assets such as the yen, gold and treasury bills. Oil, however, continues its steady climb. This is due to concerns regarding oil supplies after the United States missile strike on a Syrian airbase last week and the shutdown of a Libyan oil field. Adding to all of this, Wall Street was weighed down overnight by nervousness about quarterly corporate earnings to be announced later this week. China and the US will release the inflation figures later this week, while Australia will release its unemployment rate for the month of March. So a number of factors in play on the economic scene. And back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar strengthened against our dollar to close at 3.23 and 46 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian dollar remained steady since yesterday at 62 cents, while the New Zealand dollar weakened, closing at 66 cents, and the PNG Kina went up to close at 133. On to the commodities market. Oil rose to close at 52.97 a barrel. Gold dropped and closed at 1,250 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at $17.94 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, the construction of many new buildings in Lambasa town will provide employment for hundreds of people once completed. These initiatives have been designed to minimize the migration of people to other parts of the country, as well as boost local economic activity. Kelly Vadala reports.
Around 30,000 people have migrated from Lambasa to Viti Levu in search of better livelihood. This has had a huge impact on the economy of Lambasa, and steps are now being taken to resolve this.
We have seen they have returned, but it's a very small number. But I think government is looking into that they're giving more incentive for the agriculture sector. The development in Lambasa is going on. You can see some new buildings in our main town. And New Old will soon start their new project in Jodram Street. We have few additional new retail shops. So that's a good sign for Lambasa. The people, those who have migrated from here, if they are still struggling in Viti Levu, I think they should come back to Lambasa.
The locals here have welcomed the new developments.
Development for last 10 years, I can see a lot of development coming up. Very positive, a lot of buildings are coming. I think it's a boost to the Northern Division.
I used to live here before. Now things are different. The town has really developed.
I just wanted to say there are a lot of business-related development in this town, which is good for us.
Another development is the construction of an MH building in the heart of the town, which will be a replica of the MHCC outlet in Suva. The business here in Lambasa usually picks up in June when the cane harvesting season begins. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And that's it from Business Tonight. Now to sports, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up in sports tonight, 4 changes to Fiji Sevens team. And Sope Kikau gets to live his sporting dream once again. This and more after the break.
Well, what TV Tarokuta, my Honokula and Rasa Lutoka, Duba Talita and Avarong on radio Fijian.
Bulan Arango Pina, my Corviri Nandi, Auto Talitaka Navarrongo and a radio Fijian. Na programa ni masmasu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoro na makete hinga toka kwe do taletakini na barorongo na radio Fijian kenya na domo iviti.
Na radio Fijian na domo iviti na bonga ni bienani.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Gareth Baber has made 4 changes to his squad for the Singapore tournament. Lemeki Tulele, Nathanieli Lambalamba, Tosua Vivi and Paul and Rani Sinikula have been called into the team. Tulele, Lambalamba and Vivi have joined the side, while Rani Sinikula is expected to be with the team tomorrow. Meanwhile, Choi Leluto Mailangi, Vatemo Rababo and Apisa and Domalai Lai have arrived back in Fiji. and will miss the tournament this weekend. The 3 sustained injuries at the Hong Kong Sevens. 24 teams will compete at the Tiliva Sevens in Kandavu later this month. Coastal Ratu Felice and Police are the top bets from the registered teams. $12,500 will be up for grabs for the winners.
So it's been a 10-year lapse since Tiliva Sevens has occurred, and this is the first time in the history of Kandavu, or history of Fiji really, for Kandavu to be opening up teams to anyone rather than just Kandavu teams for this tournament.
Tope Kikau will get a chance to live his sporting dream once again when he takes part in the ITTF Oceania Para-Championships in Suva later this week. The 25-year-old former rugby player suffered a spinal injury 7 years ago that confined him to a wheelchair, but this has not taken away Tope's love for sports. Rohit Deo reports.
Tope Kikau had secured a New Zealand rugby scholarship in 2010 but could not pursue his rugby career due to an injury. However, this did not hinder his love for sports, and he chose a different game to play.
Preparing for 3 months now. It's been going on well.
It has been a tough journey for Kikau. Inspired by national para-table tennis rep Mary Roden, Kikau is hoping to put in a good performance this week.
I was pestered by Mrs. Mary Roden to come and play table tennis. I never knew anything about it, but I jumped out of my shell. I came and tried it out late last year.
For debutant 27-year-old Nafim Bai is excited to play in front of the home crowd.
It's an honor to represent Fiji in a sport like table tennis, and for me it's very humbling because I'm on a wheelchair, and there's no limits. If you're on a wheelchair, you can do anything.
It will be a busy week for Fiji Table Tennis Association as they will be hosting 3 championships concurrently. This includes the ITTF Oceania Cup, the ITTF Para Table Tennis Championship and the ITTF Oceania Junior Championship. Rohit Deo, FPC Sports.
Pool matches for the Cricket Fiji Easter Championship continued today at Albert Park in Suva despite a rainy morning. The 8-day competition entered its second day with some surprising results already on the cards. Rohit Deo with the story.
The rain did not stop these courageous players from going ahead with the second day of the competition.
Yes, despite the slight rain, we are having a positive response and display from all the teams that are taking part in this year's Easter Games tournament.
This is one time when players from the outer islands get a chance to showcase their skills on the mainland.
This tournament was started exactly for them, and it still remains for them and for the development of a sport here in VT11 and Vanuatu. They bring the crowds with them, and there's a lot of life, and cricket comes to life, and the teams from the island are taking part.
With competition entering into its second day, some surprising results have been recorded. There are some interesting matches lined up in the coming days.
It's been going really well. I think we've got a lot of competitive matches coming up. We had a really good day, good start yesterday. A few good upsets as well, and it's good for the game for here in Fiji, and we hope it continues to build momentum.
Pool games continue this week with the final to be played on Easter Monday. Rohit Deo, FPC Sports.
The Chiefs Steering Committee is confident of an outstanding match against the Crusaders at NZ Stadium in Suva next month. The committee arrived in the country this morning to inspect facilities, volunteer engagements, entertainment, vendor outsourcing and other details in the lead-up to the event. Meanwhile, committee member Vanessa Parker is urging fans to purchase tickets during the early bird period and take advantage of the discounted prices.
For our boys, it was absolutely exciting when they found out we were coming back, and it'll be exciting to have the Crusaders back here again as well for a match-up, and both teams are tracking extremely well at this point in the competition, so I think it'll be a very important game in terms of the result.
The ongoing saga over which Super Rugby teams are going to be axed is finally eventuating. SANZA officials have confirmed 2 South African teams and 1 Australian side will be dropped. Meanwhile, Australian officials have also confirmed that they did approach New Zealand about forming a breakaway competition. That's it from sports this evening. Get your weather update later on with Angie. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, find out how an aspiring Australian rapper tries to escape a $600 bill at a seaside restaurant by swimming away. Stay with us.
warong na Radio Fijian.
Bulan erango pina wa korviri nandi au talitaka na warongo na Radio Fijian na programa ni masmasu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai Vunagoro na makete hinga toka kwe do talitakini na warongo na Radio Fijian gene na domo iviti.
Na Radio Fijian na domo iviti na vonga ni BNN.
After various attempts with smartphones, Nokia hopes to make a comeback with its latest flagship. Savara Thumbor tells us what the Nokia 8 has in store for its customers. Now for the very latest in weather with Ritika.
Generally, it was a beautiful day across Fiji with mild breezes. Eastern centers had some showers early in the day, but by afternoon the sun had taken over. Now let's check out what it was like in the west. They had a generally fine sunny day with Ba hitting the highest temperature at 33. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, it was much the same, but a little cooler due to showers early in the day and southeasterly winds that kept temperatures at around 30. Turning to the north, after some morning showers in Savu, it was another beautiful day with Lambasa hitting 33 degrees. At sea, southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. Taking a look at the tides, the next low tide will be at 12:27 tonight with high tide at 6:37 tomorrow morning. Sunrise will be at 6:18. Tomorrow's forecast is for weather much like today. Generally fine weather everywhere with a chance of overnight or early morning showers in the east. Expect Ba and Lambasa to be the hot spots around 33 degrees again. Looking further onto Thursday, expect the good weather to continue. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Ritika. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, what are your plans for the Easter long weekend?
I just like to stay with my family and enjoy with my family. And I like to say to all people in the world to enjoy the Easter weekend.
We as a family will be spending a lot of time at Holy Family to celebrate Easter weekend.
I only look forward to celebrating Easter with my family.
I will definitely be with my family, spend time with them and go to church.
Because on Tuesday then I'll be starting work again, then I'll be having less time with the family. So I think Easter will be good to spend time with the family at home.
First of all, we're going to go to church. After church, and then we're going to have some family gathering in the village. And we're going to do some cooking like lava. Most of all lava, we're going to be doing lava.
Going to church and then spending Easter with the family at home.
In the world of the weird but not so wonderful, a man in Australia gave a whole new meaning to the term dine and dash when he skipped out to a $600 seafood bill by jumping into the sea. Recapping the main stories, Prime Minister unveils COP23 logo, Germany reaffirms support for climate change talks, and FEA plans major maintenance works during Easter weekend. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should false news and hate speech on social media be subject to fines in Fiji? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, tonight's shot of the day, our contributor today is Sajnesh Ganda of Lovulautoka. The beauty of a sunset is nature's farewell kiss for the night. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, from the team and I, good night.
कमल रोशनी है, हम लोगों में रहते हैं
और मिर्ची FM सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची is hot in तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तावरा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची FM is very hot।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.